starting with Councilmember Kitty Moore. You have 1 minute.
Sound check. Sound working on?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kitty Moore. I speak honestly and realistically about the challenges with development projects, revenue, budget, hazardous waste cleanups, and opportunities for our community. Growing up on food stamps and becoming financially independent before I was 18, working up to 3 jobs at a time to graduate ingrained in me the importance of fiscal accountability. Having a proud heritage of selfless military service provides me with humble gratitude and a willingness to serve. My husband and 2 sons work together on a startup they are building. Having both my late parents and now my brother battling cancers taught me the importance of having a clean environment. I have current experience over the past 6 years serving the residents, reading thousands of pages of documents to make informed decisions. Residents need to recall that we had a 14-year embezzlement from a city finance employee. I noticed and got $65 million worth of idle funds moved to be prudently invested. I'm known for doing my homework and for consistently showing up prepared and representing you, the residents.
And we'll move next to Ray.
Ready? Okay. Hello, thanks for having me today. I'm a 20-year resident and have raised our family here. Number 5 on your ballot. Cupertino is an amazing place to live, and we all work very hard, and we can also work together to improve that quality of life as well. But we have to improve our fiscal accountability to be successful here, and more importantly, to do that to improve our community. I've served as your planning commissioner from chair from 2019 to 2021, and we've worked on a lot of issues from affordable housing to Westport to Parkland on the east side, safe routes to school, and of course a housing element that was housing forward with density in the right places. I bring business experiences working with the largest global 2,000 companies and of course the smallest startups here looking to enter new markets. In my day job, I help companies determine which technology to purchase and how to support their businesses so that they'll be successful. I have a bachelor's, master's from Johns Hopkins in public health and have a policy angle. I believe Cupertino residents deserve better and will not be afraid to stand up on your behalf. I invite you to check everything out at voteray.org. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to Claudio.
Thank you, San Jose Spotlight, for this forum. My name is Claudio Bono, first-generation immigrant and Cupertino resident for close to 11 years. I serve on multiple nonprofit boards, including Chamber of Commerce, and I also serve as Parks and Recreation Commissioner. Managing Director for the Cupertino Hotel, and since 2014, I gave millions of dollars of hotel taxes to the city of Cupertino by creating a tourism hub where international travelers are spending their money in our city. I believe in transparency and honesty. Received Crest Awards and many others. I know how to work, negotiate, and compromise with everyone. Look at me, I'm likable. It helps a lot. So, elect someone that has integrity over nonstop lies and drama over for a vote. Vet your candidates. It's time to put Cupertino in a positive news cycle. Many had years to do something, but they kept on voting no. So I'm humbly asking for your vote. Visit bono4cupertino2024.com. Thank you.
All right, we'll move to Rod.
Hi, I'm picking up this microphone. There we go. Hi, I'm Rod Sinks. I have a proven track record of delivering results for Cupertino. I negotiated with the cement plant to bring us cleaner air. I worked with the county to initiate an investment of millions of dollars in affordable housing, which will help teachers and others live closer to where they work. I successfully negotiated to make Main Street into a vibrant destination, and I brought SV Hopper shuttles to Cupertino and beyond, helping students, seniors, and commuters get around. After years of nothing, it's time to build downtown for Cupertino at the old Valco site with entertainment, dining, and retail. And I have the expertise to negotiate a better project than that allowed by state law. Doing this will strengthen the tax base for our city and schools and close our $30 million revenue gap. I will navigate state housing laws and negotiate with developers to bring better housing projects to Cupertino. The right housing located in the right places that fits in seamlessly with our existing neighborhoods. Please elect me to the City Council. I'm committed to positive collaboration and results.
Thank you. We'll move to Barry.
My name is Barry Chen, and thank you for coming, and thank you, Bandai, for hosting this. Visit my website, barrychen4cupertino.com for the detail. And I'm number 2 on your ballot, so just vote number 2. You won't go wrong, okay? The city's problem right now, we all know, facing the budget deficit, but now the candidates are willing to handle this problem, this issue head on. After sales tax is gone now, we just signed an agreement with the state. $30 million out
You just hold it a little bit farther.
of $120 million annual budget. That means 25% of your revenue is gone. How are you going to deal with it? And the candidate, the incumbent is causing all this problem. Okay? So it's time for change. No more incumbent. Just get the new one who know how to do it. I deal with Apple. I negotiate with Apple with the sales tax rates high.
Thank you very much. That is
Okay.
your minute. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gilbert Wang. I'm a candidate for Cupertino City Council. I've been living in the city for a little over 30 years, and I'm very proud to run again. As a former Cupertino mayor and council member, I've always been passionate about serving our community. I'm running again because I believe we need strong, experienced leaders to navigate all the challenges we face, particularly in housing, infrastructure, and community development. My top priorities include addressing our housing needs in a balanced and thoughtful manner, improving local infrastructure, and fostering strong community connections. I want to ensure that Cupertino remains a vibrant, inclusive place for families, students, and local businesses. Our diversity is our strength, and I want to continue building bridges between different communities to ensure everyone's voice is heard. My website is www.gilbertwong.org. If you have choice, please vote for number 6. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry about the mic noise. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But we are going to move into the questions I have. And we're going to start with Barry this time, since he's holding the mic.
Sure.
So let's start with the topic many Cupertino residents say is one of the hottest issues this election, the RISE project on the former Valco site. As Cupertino's largest planned housing development to date, with more than 2,600 homes, the RISE has garnered controversy for years, and the site is still empty today. The next council will play a large role in the development. If you were elected to council, what would your approach to the project be?
We have to focus on multiple units stay in the commercial zone area. In the previous council, and also incumbent, especially Kitty Moore here, she doesn't work on housing element on May the 14th. And she claims she's going to help the residents solve this problem. She's the one creating the problem, and she wants to solve the problem. Can you trust? Can you believe it? So it's time to vote no on Kitty Moore. Okay, done. Causing the problem, causing the deficit, budget deficit, always from this here. Okay, so we have to focus on getting the job done. Focus on getting all the multiple units on commercial zone, Valco and also commercial zone. So we won't intrude into our residential quiet neighborhood. It's very important. Thank you.
I am going to go check on the mic situation really quickly because that's not sounding great.
Can I just suggest we ditch the mics?
Yeah,
Because you're not recording, and I think we can just be
Sure,
loud and
sure.
project, right?
is that okay with
We use
everybody?
our opera voice.
Sure.
Both we turn that off.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
feedback is on.
Can you turn off the microphone? There should be a.
They're doing it in the back. They're doing it.
Thank you very much for that great question. The RISE, or as we call the Valco, is something that's very important when I walk door to door. People ask me, when are we going to build Valco? When are we going to move forward? Ron and I, and Eleanor Mahoney, we went through referendums opposing it. We went through many different stages, and I just want to get the darn project built. And people want a downtown. My two daughters, Allison and Emily, say, there's nowhere to go. We used to have a great movie theater. We used to have great shops here. Now I just see an empty piece of land. Yes, we have a bowling alley. Yes, we have a few restaurants, but it's time now to have a shopping center. I don't like SB 30. I don't like these high rises too. But the thing is that now now we got low rises here, we got affordable housing here, and we can't allow a minority folks of council members and planning commissioners stop this project. Let's move it forward.
All right, thank you very much. I will move down the line to Ray.
Hi, everybody. We all want to see progress at Valco. I don't think there's a person here that doesn't believe that. Our problem is really safety and really thinking about the infrastructure and the costs that are out there. You're looking at a $3 to $4 billion project, and there are opportunities for us to actually improve open space, improve different experiences, improve retail tax revenue. The challenge is we haven't addressed the safety issue, and that's the question, right? The reason the project has stalled is really not because of any of the reasons people often cite, opposition from residents. The project is really in the developer's hands, and I think that's the important piece. They have the ability to build if they want to, and build the affordable housing piece first if they want to. But we also want to partner with them, and we want to partner with developers to find a way so that we can actually build the things that you want. How many people here in the room would like to see a movie theater? Right? How many people would like to see an ice skating rink come back? Anybody want to see more retail? Would you just like to see more townhouses? Who wants to see office space? Very few people do. So you see the point. The main point here is really we haven't built a partnership with the developer, and the developer hasn't delivered on anything to date. And so I think it's important for us to really find a way to partner with them, but also reimagine
Thank you
what
so
we can
much, Ray. That is the minute. We will move to Pudi.
Thank you. So the project is an SB 35 ministerial project. At issue is the 2 million square feet of office. Right now in San Jose, for example, there's 31% office vacancy rate. That's 3.4 million square feet of office sitting vacant. The project now only has 230,000 square feet of retail. We need to have more retail in Cupertino because we're having retail leakage to all the cities around us. A downtown at Valco with a closed-off area for pedestrians would be fantastic. I came from Vermont, where one of the first main thoroughfares in the largest city was closed to vehicular traffic in around 1980, and it has continued to be a popular outdoor dining and recreation area, drawing what I thought was just a few 100,000 residents, but it's actually 1.5 million visitors per year go to that one street area. We need to talk to the developer and see what he's willing to do, what they're willing to do moving forward, so that we have something the residents really want to have here. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe Gilbert has a rebuttal, so we will move to a 30-second rebuttal. Just a moment.
Thank you. I wanted to have a rebuttal that, yes, there is a little over 200,000 of retail. Yes, there's a lot of affordable housing, and this is a mixed-use project. You can't build housing on top of no retail because the bottom is retail. In regards to the office, yes, there is too much office, but I've talked to the owner, and the owner is open to not do the office. They're not going to build a project in Valco if it's not going to be occupied. And I just see the smirk. I have to say that from our former mayor.
Thank you
is
very
not funny.
much. That is the 30
Thank you.
seconds.
Sorry.
Thank you. No worries. We will move to Claudio for the question.
Thank you. First and foremost, in order to build a Valco, you need to be willing to talk to them. You don't go with lawyers to begin with. You need to be ensuring that we are welcoming them to spend their money in building in the next generation and of a legacy. But it's been over 10 years, going to be 11 years I'm here. It still sits empty. You know why? The nonstop no vote. So first and foremost, I was laughing when I said that you need to be likable. Yeah, you need to. You need to make sure that you understand the struggles of developers. We're here to build in Cupertino for the next generation. But you don't go after them with lawyers and lawsuits and threat them as if they were the worst people on earth. We need people to spend their sales tax dollars in Cupertino, and all of that has been missing. So yeah, do we want a movie theater? We can all raise our hand. We want everything. We have zero here, and they have years to do something, and they have done zero. So it's time to build Cupertino for the next generation. I'm your guy.
I believe that Barry has a rebuttal.
I want to make it very clear. The developer or the commercial owner is one of the partners, like a residential owner. You have to respect them, deal with them, to negotiate with them. Okay, with Ray Wang on the planning commission, give the hard time with the planning, with all the project, years, delay after delay. And then Kitty was trashing all the developers. How are you going to expect they will work with them? There's no way. if anybody with the right mind, they do not want to spend the money and then get stuck with it.
Thank you very much. We will move to Rod, back to the question.
Thank you. Let's build a downtown at Valco. It's 52 acres. It's been dormant for far too long. Do we simply want more housing there? We could easily just get a sea of townhomes because they offer a developer good profit at low risk. Building a downtown takes negotiation and the right economic mix. You may recall the state entitled SB 35 project at the beginning of 2018. It had 20-story towers looming over the neighborhood to the west. We negotiated a better project that year with community benefits based on extensive resident input, and we can do that again. With the downtown, we'll find more reasons to spend our money right here in Cupertino. We'll improve our sales tax base, which is critical since we've lost some $30 million annually in Apple sales tax due to that state ruling. Our schools will be stronger with a larger property tax base and with new housing for teachers and young families. And I can add that, property tax is a primary benefit to the schools. If we build more at Valco, our public schools benefit from that.
Thank you so much. We will move on to the next question, and we'll start with Gilbert on this one. I want to open the discussion more broadly to housing in general, especially affordable housing. Cupertino and the Bay Area at large are getting more and more expensive, making it difficult for young professionals and families to live here. How would you address the need for affordable housing outside of the promised affordable homes at the Rise?
So living in Cupertino is very expensive. Why do people want to live in Cupertino? Because we have great jobs like Apple Inc. We have great public schools. But how can we make sure that our children is able to live here? It's more of societal. The interest rates are very high, but we should work in partnership with the state, with the county, to bring more housing. The example that I use is the Cupertino Rotary Club. They have done a great job in doing developmental housing on Mary Avenue, just down the street, right here. These are kind of partnerships that we can bring low income to Cupertino, but also help a community that needs development needs, handicap. Nobody wants them there, but here there's an opportunity where we can work in partnership with our friends at Cupertino Rotary. The other thing I want to bring out is some of our senior housing. The project, I believe, was the Vista down the street. We use county funding to partnership with the city and with another developer to bring that. There's many opportunities where we can work together with state, county, and city, and let's bring that partnership, which I can bring to our city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will move down the line to Ray.
Yeah, it's a great question, affordable housing. And I think one of the ways we need to think about is the comprehensive housing life cycle. People start out, they rent here, then they want to save up to buy a home. And then, of course, they get older and they want to actually leave or maybe leave something for their kids, but they're stuck. Our challenges are really much bigger than that. It's really about tax base and tax prices, right? So if you were to sell a home and leave, people are locked into really good interest rates and they don't have a way out. And so what we should be thinking about is a diversity of housing mix, making sure that we have the ability, as probably about a quarter of our population is probably retired and on fixed income, but may want to leave or take equity out of their home, or may want to be able to downsize and actually not be taxed on that in their current life. We should put all those measures together and think about comprehensive programs that way and encourage developers and builders who want to build for that. The other important thing is also ownership housing. We want people to be able to build equity so that they can build wealth, and it's an important piece. So we don't want people renting here all their time. We want them to have an opportunity to actually purchase housing and make sure that they have the ability to pass that on to their heirs.
Thank you. We will move to Kitty.
Hey, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, for sure. So Cupertino and the Bay Area at large are getting more and more expensive, making it difficult for young professionals and families to live here. How would you address the need for affordable housing outside of the homes promised at the Rise project?
Okay, thank you. Well, one thing that there's this thought process that says that if you build more more market rate housing, that it's going to have a trickle down effect and that it's going to become less expensive for everyone. And that is not happening. If you want to have affordable housing, you need to build affordable housing. In Cupertino, we have an inclusionary housing program where if you're building a rental project, you need to build 15% of those units affordable to people with lower incomes. If you're building a for sale project, you need to provide 20% of those units affordable to people with lower incomes. And we need to maintain that. So there have been calls to have the developers be allowed to just give us money and get out of providing those units. We need to stop that, not allow that to happen, because these units are really, really important to our community. So I know you mentioned excluding the RISE, but the RISE 890 units are worth hundreds of millions of dollars to our community. We need to make sure that they don't
Thank you
get out
very
of it.
much. We will move down the line to Claudio.
All right, first and foremost, we need to prioritize teachers and first responders, hotel workers, mail technician, car workers. We have an older population here, and we need to be able to have bus drivers, anyone that can take care of that. And the more you are able to find areas that make sense to build, blending with our neighborhoods, you will also somewhat take care of traffic issues here. So we need to bring that opportunities here, and we need to work together because not one person can make a difference. You have to be able to work with your fellow council members. And at the end of the day, nothing of that has been happening. So it's not about the millions of dollars, it's about willingness. And they're not willing to do so. So can we do this? Can we address the issues for those that cannot afford it? Yes. And by the way, a 2-bedroom here, it costs almost $6,000 a month. You cannot take care of our teachers if we are not remedying to that. Thank you.
Rob, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, the state mandates that we entitle housing, and lots of them, 4,588 new homes in this 8-year cycle. And why is that? Because it's critical for people of all income levels to have an opportunity to live close to where they work. It's simply not sustainable to ask teachers, public safety workers, restaurant workers, or anyone else to drive to Cupertino from homes in Stockton or Solano County or San Benito County. It's not sustainable for the traffic it creates. It's nor for the climate, and nor for people who raise families and want to enjoy a good quality of life as we all do. I am the vice chair of the Rotary Housing Corporation, so it's our project on Mary Avenue that's been referred to. And in 2020, I worked with the city's economic development manager, a commercial broker representing the owner at that time of the Valco steak, the steakhouse, the Outback Steakhouse, and Santa Clara County, and we got the
Thank you
property
very much.
secured.
That is the end of your time. We will end with Barry on the affordable housing question.
The most important one is you have to be able to negotiate with the developer. All they are talking about is not hitting the nail at the head, okay? If the developer won't do it, nothing you can do about it. The Valco is there empty because developer is not going to build it because they know the federal Cupertino people is going to stop them anytime. If they spend all the money, they got stuck. So any right-minded developer won't do it. So you have to negotiate with the developer. We have to. Okay, if the commercial building, if the office building is too much, then we negotiate. We can cut down that, and we can, in the housing unit, increase the housing unit. When we increase the housing unit at the commercial zone area, we'll meet the housing element requirement. We won't let them into our residential area, and that's the key. But Kitty Moore, May 14th, on housing element, she voted no, and then she had the faith.
Thank you very much. That is the end of your time. Go ahead, Kitty, your rebuttal.
Thank you. So regarding Mary Avenue, which is right around the corner from here, it was our city council, which gave the land use to the Rotary Club for that project. And the developmentally disabled project is really important for our community because we've listened to the parents of adult children with developmental disabilities, and they're really concerned about what's going to happen to them as they get older, and they're no longer able to take care of them. And so this is a really important project we should all be really, really proud of.
Thank you. That is your time. Just mark that down. Okay. And so moving on to the next question and the last question on housing, as it's so important. My last question revolves around residents' concerns over projects in their neighborhoods, particularly builders' remedy projects and SB 330 applications. The city has been forced to contend with several of these projects due to its late submittal of a state-approved housing plan. The city has little oversight over these projects per state law. How would you address these concerns about losing local control of developments? And I will start with Ray.
I think it's really important to understand that what happened here was the housing element was delayed because of groups like Cupertino for All and EMD law groups, GR Firm. And part of that was really because, a housing element was handed to them to be approved, and the city council was late on it. But what we can do right now is work closely with the developers and with the residents to figure out a solution. There are different ways to actually figure out how to actually change density and the density bonuses that are there, density requirements that are in each of these areas. And I think those are opportunities that we can actually look at to find ways to actually mitigate some of these issues. But what we have to do is make sure that we don't have a list of demands from special interests that go into these housing element changes. That's really what delayed it. 21 months of delay was really caused by special interests that really wanted to change the way housing looked like in Cupertino, adding another 1,300 burden of housing here. We had pipeline projects that were not counted, that should have been counted, and that made it a lot more difficult for everybody. So I think there are opportunities. I think we should work closely. We should think about zoning. We should think about what permits are required. For some of these projects, we can use CEQA. Some of them we lost
Thank you very
CEQA because
much.
of our lawsuit.
That is the end of your time, and Barry has another rebuttal.
Great. You better watch May 14, 2024 special council meeting. Kitty Moore voted no on that one, and Liang Xiao voted abstain on that one. If one more council voted go with them, the whole housing element is not going to submit it. It will be more delay. Come on, give me a break. You have a master's degree and you're not using your brand, which is really bad.
Okay, thank you. We will move to Kitty.
Okay, thank you. So I've spoken to literally hundreds of residents around these projects, residents by Schofield, residents by Linda Vista, residents by the Evulich property, and they are really unhappy with what happened. I'm sorry that the current majority and members on this panel are choosing to blame the prior council who haven't been around for 2 years, but there was a modest housing element that was ready to go in October of 2022, and then when the new council was seated, we received over 100 emails asking for a comprehensive redo of the housing element. They did not want to have the pipeline projects. Annalise is referring to the RISE project. They did not want to have all of those units counted. We needed to go out and get over 1,000 new units added into the system, into the housing element, and the second draft did not get submitted
Thank you.
until
That is your
October
time.
2023.
Unfortunately, we will have Ray as a rebuttal.
I would like to yield my rebuttal time to Kitty so that she can continue.
We can't. Sorry,
You can't do that?
unfortunately, that's
No,
not
we can
allowed.
Yeah.
I can take it. Let me read the documentation here.
Okay.
So we got these things from YIMBY and YIMBY Law and different groups from J.R. Fruin, who was related to this, that asked for creation of tenant relocation assistance ordinance, rental preservation program, resident engagement. How many more pages do we have here? Needs analysis, constraints analysis, community outreach, transit-oriented development and mixed use, another timeline, rezoning of Alco. These requirements all here basically create a situation that caused a 21-month delay. And so if you're wondering why you're getting a 23-unit condo in your residential
Thank
neighborhood,
you very much.
this
That
is why.
the end of your time.
Rebuttal.
I will give Rod a rebuttal.
Well, Ray, you were the guy who said, let's go get 20 DU on every property in the West. And that was the start of it. You can look it up. It was a planning commission meeting in January of 2022. You've turned something which should have been an argument about where to put housing, and I think it belongs in the urban core, and so do urban planners, into a battle between East and West Cupertino, which to me is completely poppycock.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So raised 20 dwelling units per acre was actually less than half of what SB 9 mandates. We're at about 48 dwelling units per acre just due to SB 9. Ray was actually down zoning.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. We will move on to Claudio. Go ahead.
Finally. All right. Here's the truth about the builder's remedy. 2018 to 2022, I'm so sorry to say, no equals builder's remedy. In October 2022, before the council majority took place, they notified, and you can see on November city staff report and minutes, that they were not able to make a HCD and certification. They knew they would be very late. So for them to blame the new council majority, which is thanks to them that we stopped this nonsense. And so therefore you can see politics works at its best, lying to your face just for a vote. So vet your candidates, because this is outrageous to hear something like that. It's called lie. My mom always told me, don't lie, and I will certainly not lie for voters. Proof is in the pudding. Just look at the minutes. November 2022, before the new council majority took place. Enough with these lies. Thank you.
Okay, Kitty, you will have your 30-second rebuttal. That is your last for the night. So we're at 3 per council, or per candidate.
We were told we had unlimited rebuttals.
3.
No, it's
I heard it say 3.
However, this says rebuttals. In order to keep things moving, we will allow a maximum of 3 total rebuttals in response to each question. However, each candidate will have an unlimited number of rebuttals throughout the course
Obviously
of the
weren't
forum.
listening when they read the
We
rules.
changed the rules from
That
when you
is-
invited us.
so that my understanding from my bosses is that's what we're going with tonight. 3 rebuttals per candidate, not per question. I apologize. That must have been an old email that was sent out on accident, and I deeply apologize.
Okay, and I did clarify it in an email, asking what this actually meant.
That's what happened on council. That's why nothing gets done. They're always bickering about everything.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, everybody. We are gonna do 3 rebuttals per candidate. Is that clear?
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, do you want to use your last rebuttal?
I'm going to reserve it.
Thank you. Okay. We will move on. We were at Rod.
Okay, so when I was on the council, we got our housing element done and certified by the state on time. Now, the council majority from the end of 2018 to the end of 2022 had 4 years to get their housing element done and certified. If it was so damn ready, why didn't they submit it? I don't know. Under the leadership of Mayor Hung Wei and continuing this year under the leadership of Mayor Sheila Mohan and Vice Mayor J.R. Fruin, they took a very difficult situation. The housing element was nowhere, and they worked in record time to create a credible plan. Not in 4 years. No, they got the job done in just 1.5 years. When HCD finally accepted the plan, pending the city's final rezoning step, inexplicably, Liang abstained from voting and Kitty voted no. Well, it goes to figure, what's the politics here? Was she in to have more builders remedy projects or what?
And I'd like to use one of my rebuttals.
Sure, go ahead.
One of my
Mario.
3 rebuttals.
Good.
I'd like to say, if you look at council meetings, unfortunately, Councilmember Moore voted no in April, voted no in June, and no on zoning on July. So picture this, if we had one more council member that would say no, we would be even more in trouble. And that's what you need to think about the next election. And this election is consequential because I'm tired as a resident, and that's why I'm running as a concerned resident about this no, no, no. Can we do a yes sometimes? Thank you.
We will go to Barry.
So this election is very, very important, okay? PD and Ray is running as a state. Both of them get onto it, they will have the majority plus Liang. And then they will become the mayor, they will change everything. Like what Steve Sharp did a couple of years ago in 2018, and want to build a wall around Cupertino, won't allow anybody to come into Cupertino. And that's why we don't have any new people coming, and that's why we have student population decline. It's all this stupid, I mean, sorry, I shouldn't use that word, okay? It's all this irresponsible, okay, unthinkable way of doing it, okay? Cupertino, Vaco is the germ in the world. We can build a world-class downtown, world-class shopping center here with anything we want here. Well, I negotiate with Apple to have a 30% increase on the sales tax, but it all screwed up by.
Thank you, Barry. That is your time. We will go ahead and move Leslie to Gilbert.
Thank you. I think the question was builder friendly. Why do we have so many builder friendly? As we have already answered, as you can see here through the line of candidates here, is that our housing element wasn't done in time. If you want to continue to have this rhetoric, please vote for these candidates over here. But my theme is building communities together. It's building communities together. And I had a lot of fun with him when he was on the council. Being very serious, is that what differentiates me from them? On the housing element, I would try to get people together to come to a compromise. On the builder's remedy, I would go to residents and talk and listen to them. This is the punishment from the state legislator. So you have Tara, you have Patrick, and please vote for one of them. But if you don't finish the housing element time, you will have the housing element, and that's what we're dealing with right now. But I want to do it beforehand and say, hey guys, how can we work together? And please vote for Gilbert.
Thank you. Before moving to the next question, since we started a little bit later, I'm gonna move this to go a little bit later, just so we have enough time for audience questions and everything. Just wanted to let everybody know, not super later, just a couple minutes. Okay, so our next question, we'll start with Kitty on. So let's move on from housing to the city's budget. Cupertino was facing a $15 million budget deficit for most of this calendar year. Economic uncertainty largely due to a loss in Apple sales tax revenue. Cupertino almost balanced the budget deficit's majority this year, just had a few dollars here and there. In a recent turn of events, the state agreed to allow the city to keep about $75 million of sales taxes in revenue instead of requiring it to give it up. Cupertino still expects budget shortfalls, however, in the coming years, despite the cash influx due to a changing sales tax revenue landscape. How would you address anticipated shortfalls to keep city services up to resident expectations? What do you think is needed to boost the budget?
Thank you. So first, the budget needs to be very carefully analyzed for things which are loaded within there. So for instance, I was the person who found that there was over $600,000 being budgeted for library services, which the county was providing. So that could be removed from the budget. I'm the person who found that the city was keeping $65 million in a non-interest bearing checking account earlier this year and moved to get that money into the LAIF account. $45 million went into the LAIF account, earning $4.55 million. And they moved the checking account into an interest-bearing checking account, making about $3 million. So we need to actually be better stewards of our city's finances. These are your tax dollars. It needs to be looked at. The audit committee needs to have more duties and powers and authority so that they're able to look at these things. I shouldn't be looking at a public records request that somebody else did in order to find this out.
I'd like to use my second rebuttal.
Sure, go ahead.
I'd just like to quickly talk about this $65 million as if she saved the day. This is what we call operating account. God forbid something happened in cities, such as an earthquake. If all your money is set up on the side and takes savings or accrue interest, what are you going to do when you need resources right away? That's why I've been working all my life in multiple corporations. We know how to deal with an operating account. I understand you may have not that chance to work in many
Thank you very
companies,
much.
but this is what we need to
That
be
is
done.
the end of your time.
Thank you.
I will give Gilbert his second rebuttal.
I think that an audit finance committee is for oversight. I think that an audit finance committee has to work together with city staff. I see a lot of distrust on certain council members, and we hire professional city managers, director of finance, but not to be interrogated, but to ask questions and to guide them if there is a concern. Yes, there has been previous mistakes, but it was rectified. Yes, it was an outside new person that came in that saw that funds were being stolen. That was rectified.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll move to Claudio to answer the bulk of the question.
Can you just re-answer the very last
Yeah, for
paragraph of your question?
For sure. Even though Cupertino has a cash influx coming in due to that sales tax revenue, it's still anticipating some budget deficits in the coming years. How would you address that? How would you boost the budget?
Economic development. That is the answer. We need to be more sympathetic and helping our business community. I serve as vice president and previous president of the Cupertino Chamber of Commerce. We need to make sure they don't leave our city. We need to collect their tax dollars, and we need to make it easier for them to stay in Cupertino. I've gave millions of dollars of hotel taxes to Cupertino, and even if you are trying to do a business license in Cupertino, costs $1,750. God forbid you miss one day because our system is not performant. You have to pay 100% assessment penalty. That means this year I paid $3,500, and you know what Sunnyvale does? $10. I think I pay enough hotel taxes a year in order to not to be taken that way. So we need to make sure we protect our businesses, stay here, but economic development is the answer in order to generate way more revenue that we deeply need. Thank you.
Rod, go ahead.
Thank you. So, yeah, we have now a $30 million revenue gap, is the way I'm thinking about it, because that's what we had in Apple sales tax in the last year. We were fortunate to have that ramp up over so many years because we had the sales tax decline from the mall that failed over that same 25, 30-year period. So we now, thanks to a well-done negotiation, do not have the risk of the state clawing back up to 5, 6 years of revenue. It would have bankrupted us. So that's terrific. But we need to treat that as one-time money. And in the meantime, as Claudia said, we need to get our economic development engine, which has been stuck, broken, and busted for 4+ years, from end of 2018 to 2022, back in gear and working again. And that's why we need good development. But it'll take time, for sure, which is why we have to be thoughtful about how we spend that money.
Thank you,
to
Rob.
meter it.
I'll move to Barry.
The influx of the sales tax from Apple sales is because I negotiated single-handed because of the Apple Park project. I know that's the opportunity to renegotiate with Apple to increase the sales tax rate high, 30%. And that was, in 2018, that was the #1 revenue for the city of Cupertino. But then the foreign council screwed it up, okay? Chinese saying, all saying, when you have money, don't show up, okay? Just keep it quiet. They just keep saying they want to build a wall and all this stuff. So then state come in and say, okay, we'll just take your sales tax away. To solve this problem now, we have to develop Valco, develop all the commercial zone area. So then we'll increase the property tax and also increase the retail sales tax to accommodate the $30 million loss every year from now on.
Thank you, Barry. We'll move to Gilbert.
When I was elected in 2007, we were going through an economic fiscal crisis, but luckily we came out of it okay. Now, with Apple sales tax being reduced, we see level of service being declined at both the Kona Center and other places. When I was walking in doors, people say that, are you going to raise my sales tax? And I wanted to clarify that. No, I'm not saying that we should raise our sales tax. What could we have done differently? The council had an opportunity to raise 1%, but we didn't do it because we were too scared. I think that you need a leader who's not scared. I agree with Claudio that we should not be punishment. We want enforcement of our business tax. We want to encourage people to pay, not to punish us. Is that a council that we want? We need a more compassionate council.
And I will use my last rebuttal.
Go ahead, Claudia.
Recently, we had an opportunity to have more taxes, hotel taxes moved from 12 to 15. I was not in agreeing with that, but the clients are paying for them. I was amicable to have a 13%, which would give thousands and thousands of dollars that we need. I moved to go forward, but we haven't done that. So if elected, obviously one way to generate that is just bump that little sales tax, hotel occupancy tax, and that will help the city. Thank you.
Okay, we will move to Ray.
Yeah, this is actually more than a budget deficit problem. We have a systemic problem inside the organization. I mean, fiscal accountability is important. We have 14 years of investment, sometimes under the watch of some of these people here. We have fraud, waste, and abuse, and I think it's really important to actually think about what's going on. Our city manager has publicly stated that she has no finance experience. So I really think it's important that we actually help everyone figure out how to elevate their skills inside the organization and also do a forensic accounting process, because there's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse that's going on. We also need procurement in place. We don't have procurement software. We don't have procurement capabilities, and some of the procurement rules we have are antiquated. I negotiate hundreds of millions of dollars of software deals for billion-dollar companies, and when you look at it, it's kind of tough. So I think it's important also to understand that this council removed the Economic Development Committee. So just as we need to look at waste, we also need to look at growth. So we need to bring back the Economic Development Committee. We need to think about improving our small business relationships. I agree with Claudio there. And I think it's also important that we actually have to think about how we actually take those funds and use them for use.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I have so many more questions, but we are already almost at 7. So I'm going to move to closing statements. And I am going to start with, what did I not start with? I'm start with Rod.
Thanks for hosting us. As you've heard, I'm eager to get a downtown for Cooper at the 52-acre Valco site and have the experience to get it moving with more entertainment, dining, retail, and housing. As your mayor, I launched a groundbreaking bike pedestrian plan to ensure safer routes for our kids. I introduced SV Hopper shuttles to serve students, seniors, and commuters. I'm proud to have led the charge for Silicon Valley Clean Energy, bringing us less expensive and greener electricity since 2017. And as board member and chair of the Bay Area Air District, I helped secure a deal with the cement plant to dramatically improve our air quality. As a trustee for FUHSD, which I am currently, I fought to maintain electives, expand transportation options, modernize campuses, and enhance climate education. I'm a seasoned high-tech executive, a scout leader, a robotics mentor, and proud past president of the Cupertino Rotary Club. I'm resident-focused and don't accept developer funding. Check out our video at rodsinks.com.
Thank you. We will go the opposite way this time. We go to Claudio.
Yay! All right, we've all witnessed tonight the old same political tactics where blame is cast everywhere but on those responsible. This time, let's do something different. It's time to build a brighter future for Cupertino, one that serves the next generation. The sad reality is that some old personalities will lie to you with a smile just to secure your vote. When they claim the builder's remedy isn't their fault, it reveals their true intentions. They hope that you will believe them, but I fear for the future of our city, which is why I'm running for office. As a concerned resident, I am disheartened by the infighting, lawsuits, and endless insinuation that are getting us nowhere. If given the opportunity, listen to this, I'm ready to serve not one but 2 terms to protect our city staff and our community from these relentless falsehoods. I've been watching as progress stalled for too many years. It's time for a brand new, fresh face, new energy. Vote for number 3 on your ballot. Together, we can finally move Cupertino forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also want to mention after these closing statements, I have just a few audience questions to you, Kitty.
I have humbly and loyally served you, our residents, for the past 6 years, and I have truly done the real work of going through tens of thousands of pages of agenda packets and responsibly advocated for you. When the organization chart showed up this year with the citizens of Cupertino removed from the top, I noticed it, and the residents were rightfully angry and got it returned. I want our residents to know that they can trust what their council is doing, so they can rest easy. But that requires you to pay attention and vote for people who actually have your interests at heart. Wang is a business success who has networked across the globe, yet he is taking the time to serve you. We have canvassed for hours, met many residents, parents who want an inclusive playground, which we've had a groundbreaking at, housing for our developmentally disabled, and a lady, 101 years old, happy to have a lighted sidewalk installed so she can safely cross the street.
Thank you very much.
I humbly seek your vote.
We'll move to Ray.
We've seen what happens when residents are no longer prioritized or in charge. And I agree with Kitty. When residents are taken off the org chart, we have such significant issues. Special interests have taken over the city, and we're just filling the chaos. This is just the beginning. We have to identify the wasteful spending with the brace from impending higher taxes, less services, and lower quality of life. We have a number of candidates and former electeds who say they're resident focused. They don't take money from developers, but they've consistently misled the public with backroom deals and voted not for local control. In fact, their records speak for themselves. It doesn't have to be this way. And if we move to a resident-focused majority, we can actually change that, where residents are actually prioritized. Constituent services are built for residents. They're listened to. Their input is actually taken into account, and special interests are actually pushed back. It's a very important piece, and what we're here for is really, one, we have to help fiscal accountability, make sure that we uncover the fraud, waste, and abuse. Second, build the economic growth and development that's needed, and of course, focus on public safety. We're the only 2 candidates that supported Prop 36, and a lot of folks should be unhappy with the fact that that has not happened. So,
Thank you, Ray. We will move to Gilbert.
Can I take my last 30 seconds?
Yeah, you can take your last rebuttal, sure.
So in regards to Prop 36, I do support Prop 36. It's public safety. One of my platforms is being safe. To have candidates make lies on this stage, it's just regrettable. I urge you, to check your records before you vote.
Okay, thank you. And we will move into your closing statement.
Do I need to take off 14 seconds or okay?
No.
Okay. Just want to check. Because I don't want 14 seconds too. Cupertino is a great place to live, work, and play. I don't read from my notes, I say it from my heart. I am number 6 on the candidate on my website, www.gilbert.org. I'm not with any special interest. What is a special interest? A special interest is Better Cupertino. We have a slate over there. Another special interest group is All for Cupertino. We have a slate over here too. I know that you can agree and disagree with me, but if someone's saying that we're going to support that person, we're going to support that person. I can say that Claudio, Barry, and I are not on any slates. We are independent folks that does have experience. If you want an inexperienced person, there's a lot of experienced people here. You can vote for them. But I think that it's important that we talk from the heart. And I urge you to vote for Gilbert Wang for number 6. For our family who has 2 great kids who went through a public school system, went through currently in the UC system and at Santa Clara University, we want to make sure that they live here, work here, and also retire here as well too. Thank you.
Thank you. Barry, go ahead.
Cupertino right now is in crisis. In crisis mean in Chinese mean danger and also opportunity. 2 words, 危机, dangerous and opportunity. So we're in very dangerous situation. If you continue to vote for better Cupertino people like Kitty Moore and Ray Wang, I can guarantee you more delay on the multiple unit in the residential area with more builder remedy. This is a situation really the resident has to look very carefully. Okay, we also have a $30 million shortfall in the budget. The budget deficit had to deal with it. And then, wow, Kitty can say, well, she read thousands of pages. Yes, but she's using that nitpicking on the council, on the staff and the developer. That's not the way of doing business. That's totally wrong. Okay, opportunity, we can make it.
Thank you very much. That is your time. I will leave, second rebuttal to Ray. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, the budget deficit is actually interesting. If you look over the 5-year period, you notice that our budgets weren't always that high. And it's actually closer to a $15 million budget deficit, which is, you can actually get to that and fix that. Operating accounts, and back to real quick on some basic math and budgets, 64 million found at 5% interest is $3.2 million, right? So little things like this do add up, and we can actually find a budget shortfall with some good forensic accounting and some good fiscal accountability. Let's teach the staff how to do it. Let's give them the skills so they can be successful. Rebuttal.
Rob, was that you?
It seems to me like maybe Kitty ought to be hired by our auditor if this is what she wants to do, because a council job actually is about policy, setting policies. The policy that she voted for, along with the rest of the council, right, said what we were doing with all of our money. So I'm confused about what role we think that she has in the city. The fact is, we have good staff, we have good people in finance with finance degrees, not civil engineering degrees, doing the work, and they
Thank
do
you
their
very
work
much.
well.
I will give, after Barry, Barry, this is your last rebuttal. Go
Sure.
ahead.
I want to tell Ray, please check with the city manager. Do some study about the budget deficit situation, okay? It seems to me, don't understand that. You think the budget deficit is a small issue. No, it's a big issue. I want to use the other time for Cupertino, this crisis, we have the good opportunity to make Valco a world-class shopping center, a downtown area with bookstore, theater,
Thank you, Barry.
performing arts center.
That's your time. And Kitty, go ahead.
Thank you. So yes, the city council is to set policy, and we need to set an idle funds policy. Little Monte Sereno, over a year ago, their staff went to their city council and they gave them an array of investments that they could put their money in because the interest rates were around 5%. Little Monte Sereno was able to do that, but our city was keeping $30 million into a non-interest bearing account, and then it grew to over $64 million.
Because the policy
So
of that.
do not interrupt.
Yeah. Don't interrupt. You can have 5 more seconds.
Thank you. So with regards to policy, the state treasurer has guidance on how to form this. The city of Cupertino needs to use that guidance
Thank you
and
very much.
incorporate it.
Okay, we have time for, I'm hoping 2 audience questions, but maybe just 1. So we will start this time with Claudio for this audience question. What are your policies or views on public safety, crime, and as it was already brought up, Prop 36?
Well, I'm for Prop 36, period. Public safety is important. Our city has changed since COVID, period. I have to tell you, we talked last night at the city council. It was another great show in a terrible way. And we're talking about the homeless people. I gotta tell you, some of the centers closed for a few months, and I do have homeless people also sleeping outside my complex. Things have changed. Package theft, death threats, for crying out loud, for me, running for a city council position. So I'm very thankful to have the sheriff. It needs to be renewed. The contract's about $15 million divided by 60,000. It's about $230 a year. I think my life is worth more than that. And I think we need to reassure our population that we have great contract with the sheriff and they are there to help us out. And honestly, again, like I said, we need to feel safe and we need to have them here.
Thank you. We'll go to Rod next.
Well, I think that Cupertino residents deserve to be safe and feel safe in their homes and in their neighborhoods. And in my prior service, I fostered good ties with our sheriff and our fire department. Our State of the City address, focused on prevention of heart attacks and CPR, defibrillation devices, and so forth, and the apps that encourage residents to help their fellow neighbors. We can improve our deterrence of crime, we can improve our emergency response, and we can protect our quality of life. I'm also in favor of 36, and we'll be voting for it. And I have to say, we're getting a lot of value from the sheriff. The question is, how much money do we have to fund it? If we restore our tax base with good economic development, build more homes
Thank you,
for
Rod.
public
That is your
safety to
time.
be in our city, that's
Thank you
what we
very
do.
much.
Yeah.
Barry, to you about public safety.
Sure.
I'm in favor of Prop 36 also, okay? The issue, I was the only one start shutting down Beehive. Took me more than 20 years at the beginning, no help at all with all the trash I got. But after 20 years, shut it down. It's public health, public safety issue for the entire region, including Cupertino. And I'm very proud I got it done. So I have a very good record about this, okay? And 9 years on the council, I have a very good relationship with the sheriff. I think they're doing a good job. But with the budget crisis we are facing now, if we don't deal with it, we may end up cutting the vital service like the sheriff, police, and the fire and other public health issues. So it's very critical for this vote.
Thank you, Barry. I will move to Gilbert.
Thank you very much. Public safety is one of the issues I believe very strongly as my top three. As we can see, all 6 candidates believe in Prop 36, and I support Prop 36. But we have to be careful of making the statements, and I see that on the city council as well too. We're very good to contract out both our sheriff services and our fire. That makes us very fiscally responsible. One of the things that I heard from the fire department is that as the city east side is growing, it's very important to have a fire station that's being built. I will support building a fire station as Valpo is getting bigger, as we have more development is on the eastern side, because safety is important to me. Thank you.
Go ahead, Rick.
We have an obligation to support our residents in public safety, especially on Prop 36. Now, Kitty Moore, Van Chow, myself, we were at the Prop 36 rally. We didn't see anybody else there. And if everybody agrees on Prop 36, I encourage you to put that on your websites. That's something we can all agree on, work together. I think it's important because it's important for resident safety. So I signed the pledge. Please make it public. Put it on your websites because we have, and we strongly believe in that. And that will actually show us that you actually do care. But I think it's also important. We've been canvassing homes. We've canvassed thousands of homes, and everybody is worried about public safety. It's the silent issue. And people say, oh, we're all for it. We're all going to do something. I think we actually can start by improving our neighborhood watch, improving our block programs, helping people get more educated. There are lots of things we can do. Congrats to City Council. They passed the license plate reader, which is one step to helping. People can actually do that on their own for $1,500, about $3,000, sorry. $1,500 for the unit, $1,500 to install and use. but there are opportunities for us to work together on public safety. And if everybody's here ready to do it, I'm glad. Let's all sign up for Prop 36. Please
Thank
be there
you
with
very
us.
much. And lastly, we will have Q.
Thank you. So with regards to public safety, thank you, Ray, for mentioning the automatic license plate readers. We just approved a network that would go within the city of Cupertino and integrate into the county so that that information will be available countywide so that they can tell when individuals are moving throughout our cities. So it's really important. Valco, the fire station was put in about 2021 in those plans. It has since been removed and they need to get it back in there because we're talking about having thousands of employees and residents at that site. So that is really important. With Prop 36, we both signed the petition to get it onto the ballot originally. We've been advocates for it all this year throughout the process. What it does is provides tools for judges to be able to get people who have substance abuse problems into rehab. This is really important because the street drugs that we have now are much more powerful and more potent than what was on the street years ago. So we really need to help there, and it also helps with some other
Thank
issues
you
in
very
Prop
much.
47.
That is end of your time. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. I would love to ask more audience questions, but we only have the room till 7:30. So that concludes our candidate forum. I want to thank all the candidates for their participation and insightful comments. A recap story will be published on our website in the next week. If you're not already, please subscribe to our West Valley Spotlight newsletter to stay up to date on all the latest news in Cupertino. And please grab a 2024 election guide on your way out there on the table outside the.
Thank you.